Hey everyone, welcome back to Mysteries and Things. Today we're diving into one of the darkest and most intriguing chapters of American history, the Salem Witch Trials of 1692. This is a story of hysteria, superstition, and a community gripped by fear. So, let's journey back to colonial Massachusetts and uncover what really happened during those infamous witch hunts. Picture this. It's the late 17th century in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Life is tough. The Puritan settlers are dealing with the aftermath of King Philip's War, economic hardship, and the constant threat of Native American attacks. This is a society where church and state are intertwined, and religious orthodoxy rules everything. The Puritans believed they were on a divine mission, and that the devil was a constant threat. Anything unusual or unexplained was quickly attributed to witchcraft. In such an environment, fear and paranoia could spread like wildfire. The hysteria started in the small village of Salem. In January 1692, two young girls, Elizabeth Betty Paris and her cousin Abigail Williams, started exhibiting strange behaviors, fits, contortions, and outbursts of screaming. When the local doctor couldn't find a physical cause, he suggested the unthinkable: witchcraft. Enter Tituba, an enslaved woman in the Paris household. Under pressure, she confessed to practicing witchcraft and claimed others in the colony were conspiring with the devil. Her vivid confessions set off a chain reaction of accusations and fear. The idea of witchcraft quickly took hold in the community, fueled by the confessions of Tituba and the growing number of afflicted girls. The Puritan belief system played a massive role in fueling the witch trials. They believed the devil was actively trying to corrupt their community. Social tensions within Salem also played a part. The village was divided between the prosperous, commercially oriented faction and the poorer, agrarian faction. Accusations often mirrored these social divisions, with many accused coming from wealthier families or those involved in disputes. And let's not forget the gender dynamics. Women, especially those who were outspoken or defied traditional roles, were more likely to be accused of witchcraft. This was a society where women's behavior was closely monitored and controlled. The trials served to reinforce patriarchal norms and suppress female agency. The legal framework of the Massachusetts Bay Colony allowed for the prosecution of witchcraft, considered a capital offense. Governor William Phips established a special court to handle the trials. The evidence used was often flimsy and based on spectral evidence, claims that the spirit of the accused was seen committing witchcraft. This type of evidence was subjective and impossible to refute. One of the most notorious methods was the touch test. If the accused touched the afflicted girls and their fits stopped, it was taken as proof of witchcraft. This wasn't about rational legal principles, it was superstition at its worst. The court's reliance on spectral evidence was highly controversial. Increase Mather, a prominent minister, argued against its use, stating that it was better that 10 suspected witches should escape than one innocent person be condemned. However, his son Cotton Mather supported the trials, believing that the presence of witches was a real threat to the community. Several key figures played prominent roles in the trials. Reverend Samuel Paris, whose daughter and niece were among the first afflicted, was a fervent supporter of the trials. Judge Samuel Sewall later apologized for his role, acknowledging the miscarriages of justice. Among the accused, several cases stand out. Bridget Bishop, a tavern owner and one of the first to be tried. Bishop was convicted and hanged in June 1692. Her case set a precedent for subsequent trials. Rebecca Nurse, a well-respected elderly woman, Nurse was initially acquitted but later retried and convicted, illustrating the intense pressure on the court to find and punish witches. Giles Corey, an 81-year-old farmer, Corey refused to enter a plea when accused of witchcraft. As a result, he was subjected to pressing, a form of torture where heavy stones were placed on his chest until he either entered a plea or died. Corey chose to remain silent, famously uttering "more weight" as his final words, and died under the crushing weight. By late 1692, doubts about the trials grew. Increase Mather, a leading minister, argued against the use of spectral evidence. Governor Phips dissolved the special court and established a new one that disallowed such evidence. By May 1693, those still in prison were pardoned and released. But the damage was done. Many of the accused had lost their property and livelihoods. It took years for the colony to fully acknowledge the injustice and begin the process of restitution and reconciliation. The aftermath of the Salem Witch Trials saw a community grappling with guilt and shame. Many involved in the trials publicly confessed their errors. Samuel Sewall issued a public apology. In 1711, the colony restored the rights and good names of the accused and granted financial restitution to their heirs. The trials underscored the dangers of isolationism, religious extremism, and the breakdown of legal norms. They serve as a cautionary tale about the consequences of mass hysteria and the importance of due process and rational legal standards. From a psychological perspective, the trials can be seen as mass hysteria or collective delusion. The symptoms exhibited by the afflicted girls were likely a combination of psychological stress and suggestibility. The intense fear and anxiety of the time made these symptoms appear as witchcraft. Sociologically, the trials were a reaction to the social and economic stresses in Salem. Accusations allowed the community to externalize their fears onto scapegoats, reinforcing social cohesion among the non-accused. The trials also reflected broader patterns of social control and conformity. The role of gender in the Salem witch trials is significant. Women, especially those who were independent or defied traditional gender roles, were disproportionately targeted. This reflects the broader patriarchal structure of Puritan society, where women's behavior was closely monitored and controlled. The witch trials can thus be seen as a mechanism for reinforcing gender norms and punishing those who deviated from them. The Salem witch trials have inspired countless works of literature and film. Arthur Miller's play, The Crucible, used the trials as an allegory for McCarthyism, highlighting the timeless themes of hysteria and persecution. Historians debate the causes and consequences of the trials. Some focus on gender dynamics, others on economic and social tensions. In popular culture, the trials symbolize the dangers of fanaticism and the importance of safeguarding individual rights against mass hysteria. The Salem witch trials of 1692 remain a haunting chapter in American history. They remind us of the devastating impact of fear, superstition, and the breakdown of social and legal norms. As we confront new challenges today, the lessons of Salem urge us to guard against hysteria and protect civil liberties. Let's remember those who suffered and strive for a more just and compassionate society. So, what do we make of the Salem witch trials? They serve as a poignant reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the necessity for vigilance in protecting individual rights and freedoms. The events of 1692 highlight the complexities and dangers of a society grappling with issues of conformity, deviance, and authority. As we reflect on this dark chapter in history, let's honor the memory of those who suffered and commit to preventing similar injustices in the future. The Salem witch trials offer a powerful lesson in understanding, tolerance, and the rule of law. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think were the main causes of the Salem witch trials? Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning. Thanks for watching. For more deep dives into history's mysteries, check out our other videos. And remember, understanding the past can help us navigate the present and shape a better future. See you next time on Mysteries and Things.